Hello and welcome into the ReMix, a mix of entertainment, lifestyle, and community news. I'm Anna Meiler. Just because summer is winding down doesn't mean you can't still travel. In fact, the fall could be the best time to take that flight to Europe. Jordyn Jagolinzer sat down with the curious traveler to talk about where to go and how to travel solo as a woman.
We are joined now by Emmy Award-winning journalist Christine Van Blokland. She's the host of the PBS program Curious Traveler. Christine, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me. This is wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, well, your show is wonderful. You take viewers all over the world, especially for trips around Europe. And the show is back for season 7. That starts in November. Can you tell us what we can expect from the new season?
Absolutely. So this season, we're excited to take our viewers with us. We take our virtual travelers all across Germany, in France, in the Netherlands, and in Poland. Some quick highlights. We go to Linderhof Palace in Germany, which was created by Mad King Ludwig, who liked to have dinner with imaginary friends, and he decorated the entire palace in so much gold you wouldn't even believe it. In Utrecht in the Netherlands, we take people down a canal cruise, which is just gorgeous. In Lyon in France, we take people to the 2 levels of the city. We've got Fouvier Hill at the top and then Trebouls down at the bottom. So lots of exciting things in store.
It sounds,
How's that sound?
It sounds absolutely amazing. Yeah. I always say we're so lucky here in Boston because getting to Europe is so easy. So all of those destinations are very easy for travelers around here to get to. But tell us about you.
Well, much like yourself, I spent many years doing morning TV. I was the entertainment reporter at different stations, and I loved it. But I got to a point where I was like, well, I can't do another perky morning live shot about yoga or whatever the case may be. And I always had this urge to kind of go do this travel show. It was always the dream. So for me, this was about 10 years ago. I put together a pilot for PBS, and thank goodness they loved it. We went to, I think it was Florence and Paris and Rome, put something together. And it was just, for me, it really is the dream come true, because I want people to know that a place like Europe or wherever it is you want to go, it's not this unreachable, scary thing. You go, and I say my show is like a field trip for grown-ups who have never quite grown up. Because you want to go, you want to have fun, but I want people to learn as they go, because otherwise, why spend all that money and time and go if you're not going to learn about the beautiful places that you're visiting?
Absolutely. One of my favorite parts about the show is that you actually teach female empowerment, encouraging other women to travel alone, which may be scary to some people who are watching this. What are some of your tips for the solo traveler?
I always say, don't be frightened of it. So the very first thing is to kind of get over that fear and think that this is like some foreign land or different planet or something, because whether you choose, to go to Paris or Rome, those are the easy places to go. So number one, you're not the only tourist there. You're not the only female solo tourist there. Nobody's going to stop what they're doing and turn and look at you and be like, oh, she's eating by herself at dinner, or there's not like a whole group of people who are going, we're going to go pickpocket her. Yes, there are a couple things. You need to use common sense. There's so many different technologies and things. You're going to have your crossbody bag and keep your things close to you. Use your common sense. The safety part is really okay. Be adventurous. Whether you're the type of person that just wants to dive on in and go, make your own itinerary, there's certainly enough resources there. My show is one of them. Hopefully, please use that. But maybe if that's even too much of a big step, go. There are plenty of solo female tour groups you can go with. The easiest way to do it, which doesn't really count as doing kind of solo female travel, a cruise. Because you're going to be with a group of other people the entire time. Yeah, when you get off the ship, you can go and have your alone time, and it's during the day. And the other big tip, again, common sense, don't be wandering around at night in alleys that don't look friendly.
To your point, use your common sense, but certainly your show can be a great way for people to get tips if it's something they're looking to do and they want to take that leap.
Absolutely. And I really hope that I inspire people to do it, because I think also too, especially for women, for whatever reason it is, they think, I can't do that without my boyfriend, husband, father, if it's a younger viewer or something. You can do it yourself. Just make the plan, go and do it. And again, the number one thing to remember is these people, whether you're picking Paris or Rome or Florence, people that are there are living their day-to-day lives. They're not there out to get you. And again, you're probably going to be going to the same kind of touristy spots that other people are too. Just follow and blend. Blend and wear a hat and sunscreen. Follow and blend.
Follow and blend.
Follow and blend.
Something we can all live by even here locally. Now, we are getting into the fall season. Is that actually a good time for maybe some of those trips to plan to Europe?
It is the perfect time to go. So I say, do as I say, not as I do. So we always film in spring and summer because the light is better and the sunshine is better. Go in the fall because the summer rush season with all the family vacation travel, that's kind of over. And it's just before all the holiday travel. So in Europe especially, you probably know this, those beautiful Christmas markets, which I love, and we're going to be filming there ourselves. But that's so busy. In the fall, it's called the shoulder season. And it's quieter. You can get better deals. And even though, you know, right now we're already into September, it's not too late to book a flight. A very quick tip, start with Google Flights. You may have your favorite Travelocity or Delta or whatever the case may be. Start with Google Flights. It'll tell you everything all in one place, especially if you're going to Europe or, you know, India, wherever you're going, because there's all these little tiny airlines. You're not going to know it off the top of your head. So start there. You'll get a better deal, and you'll have the streets quieter, which you can really enjoy it. You know, there's the joke that people think, oh, I'm going to go like Emily in Paris, and it's just going to have these.
Right.
I was like, you know what? It's a lot more crowded than that.
Yes.
And for me, at least, those huge crowds make it, you know, not as much of an enriching, fun experience. So go when it's quieter in the fall.
I agree with you. Some of these, I mean, they're old cities, a lot of them, and tight streets. And when you're overcrowded with people, it can ruin your experience. So what destinations would you recommend for our viewers for maybe the fall months if they watch this and they want to book a trip?
I like to recommend off the beaten path destinations. So everybody knows Paris, but do you know Dijon? Yes, where the mustard came from. But the town, it's well, it's a city, I shouldn't say town, but it's smaller than Paris. And the architecture, I was blown away with how gorgeous it is. And because it's smaller than Paris, the hotels won't cost as much. Anywhere that you go, I always recommend book a walking tour in the morning and then have some free time in the afternoon. Other ones you may not have heard of, Gruyere in Switzerland. Like the cheese.
I was just thinking,
like
well,
the cheese.
Maybe it's as easy as we think. You go to mustard, you go to cheese.
You go to mustard and cheese. We're going to have bread in there somewhere. But the thing about Gruyere, it's this tiny, tiny little town, little hilltop town, and I'm such a big Disney fan. I swear you feel like you've gone into Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, I love that.
It's like one little street, all these little little market shops and restaurants, and then at the top is a castle. Anytime you have a castle at the top of the hill, you're going to have the gorgeous village around it. You know, even if you're, let's say you're going to England, you've got the Downton Abbey Highclere Castle, you have the village around it. The last one is Ghent, Belgium. So a lot of people may, go to Brussels, and that's the only place they go to in Belgium. But go to Ghent. It's a little bit quieter. You still get the canals and the gorgeous cathedrals and all the art. The famous Ghent altarpiece, maybe if you're an art nerd like me and you know that. And another quick tip just for anyone, whether it's women or men, pick your theme. Whether you love art, whether you love architecture, or maybe you're into different cuisines. Pick that and kind of plan your own trip around that. Or once again, hey, if you want, you can use Curious Traveler as a guide. You know, you don't have to, but we'd love that.
Christine, thank you so much for coming on today. We
it.
cannot wait to watch season 7 of The Curious Traveler. Tell us when we can expect the premiere.
Well, it's going to be online on PBS Passport beginning October 15th, and then it comes out on TV all across the country and in Canada beginning in November. And I always say check your local listings because every station has a different time.
Okay, Christine, thank you so much. Thanks for being here today. We can't wait to watch The Curious Traveler.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
When we come back on the Remix, they are a local band ready to rock across the country. We sit down with the trio from JVK about Boston Calling, their sound, and what fans can expect on their tour. They rocked the Boston Calling Music Festival, and now local band JVK is headed out on a national tour. The trio sat down with Breana Pitts before they hit the road to talk about their rise to fame.
Well, joining me now here is Joe Krieger, Atticus Crowley, and Kay Kwiatek of Boston-based JVK. Thank you guys so much for coming in and being here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you. You are getting ready for an upcoming U.S. tour. What are you most looking forward to?
I am honestly most looking forward to all the new places we're going to play. We're going to so many new states we have never been before, playing our music to so many new people, you know, the stories and the tour life of it all. It's our biggest booking project that we've done.
Yeah, for sure.
He did the majority of the booking, but
What was that like?
It was really intense. So, you know, we started booking, we were at my grandparents' house like 3 days after Christmas last year, and we're like, well, it's time to get to booking. We've basically, like, you know, every day since then, you know, we're nearing the end, but, you know, of the booking process, but it's been super cool just doing like research, finding so many cool bands from all over the country, finding, you know, new communities, new venues, new places, and just, you know, so we're really excited to just like make it happen after so much planning.
Exactly.
And cool to curate the venues and have a say. And
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you played Boston Calling earlier in the year. What was that like?
It was so incredible.
It was amazing,
It
yeah.
was such a cool experience, especially where so many people, when we were first announcing it, were people from middle school, high school, teachers, parents, were just, oh my God, you're playing Boston Calling, you know, very super excited. We put so much work into it, you know, 30 plus rehearsals. We made 1,500 flyers to hand out to get people to our set. We got to meet so many people. The craziest was even my friends and people I knew were sending me links to people on Reddit talking about our performance, and I was like, "That's when you know you made it." So that was really amazing too.
That is really awesome. Where do you guys get your inspiration from?
Sure, I think we kind of have cultivated, like, all three of us have very different styles of music that we really love. I'm much more like, I love kind of like the 70s glam, 80s retro, but also I love like grunge and Y2K, so it's kind of like a big culmination of a lot of different things. Also depends on what I'm listening to, but I know you have a lot more like kind of like punk.
Yeah, I mean, like, I grew up listening to like, you know, like skate punk, like with my dad and stuff like that, like Bad Religion. You know, really now it's kind of like I guess like the Wonder Years, my favorite band, right here on my wrist, and inspires me every day. So yeah, that's my biggest inspiration.
And Van Halen over here.
I know. Like it's really like heavy like guitar music and like Van Halen and like stuff like that.
Oh, awesome. Well, okay, you've been together for a couple of years now, right? How have you seen yourselves evolve even in that short amount of time?
It's been a wild experience. I mean, it's truly like when I was in college for one semester and I dropped out and I looked at my mom and I was like, I'm going to start a band. And I've been doing music my entire life, so it wasn't that big of a shock, but really finding the right people and going through like the trials and tribulations of doing so has really evolved my character as a person. But in terms of like the experiences, it's all kind of snowballed in such an interesting way, you know, even being in the band starting the band from like years and like 2 years now, and then being here, being on TV, you know, it's something that's so cool. And, you know, being able to say we have played Boston Calling, Louder Than Life, and the experiences that we've gotten, how hard we all work. It's really like grown work ethic and kind of showed me like who I actually am as a person, while like trying to find myself both musically like as a person. It's been really cool.
Yeah, you can't forget the Pickle Festival too.
No, absolutely not.
Don't forget Picklesburg.
Okay, so how did you all find each other?
So Kay and I have known each other for 10 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were in a band for a long time, and that band is not together anymore. It's our middle school band. And then through there, when I was first finding, you know, members for my band, I kind of had gone through different types of people. And, you know, some people, I just needed fill-ins here and there. And I remember, and I remember I got to a point where I was like, I haven't talked to Kay in a really long time. And so I called Kay up and I was like, I need a fill-in, can you help me out? And Kayla was like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I was so excited, and like since like that first show I did, I was like, yeah, this is it.
And how did you come into the mix?
So me and Joe met at a show at Lynch Family Skate Park in Cambridge, which was like, you know, over to, it was like, you know, 2022. And yeah, we, you know, met and, you know, started playing with JVK like off and on towards the end of that summer. And then like, you know, just like, you know, it was like filling in for different things, like helping out, doing shows. And then like when I really started really doing a lot with the band consistently when we were getting ready for Louder Than Life in Kentucky, which was last year. So that was like last summer we were getting ready for that. And that was kind of my first intro into being like a full-time member, I guess.
Awesome. Okay, any advice very quickly here for anyone looking to follow in your footsteps, start their own band and do this?
Absolutely. I would honestly say to just do it. You know, I think when you I think it's kind of, you know, the three of us together work so hard every single day to do what we want to do. And, we're constantly writing music, constantly talking about what we can do better at, being incredibly self-aware with the things that we know we need to work on. And I think the biggest thing is just not letting anything get in the way of that.
Absolutely.
And if you really, really want something, just going out of your comfort zone and doing it.
For sure.
Booking the shows, driving the long distance for shows where probably no one's going to be there, and just trying anything twice and just doing everything you possibly can to get to where you want to be.
Don't overthink it, and if you're really passionate about it, just put everything you have into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's like, don't be afraid to just do everything yourself. Like, you want to go on tour, go book a tour. You want to record some music, and record some music, and you want to when you're first starting out, you can't you just got to take everything. Take all the shows, take everything. It's
Say yes to everything.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Great advice, guys.
Thank you.
All right, JVK, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
having us.
Creating art that reflects his family roots. Meet one of the creators being showcased at this weekend's Boston Arts Festival. Stay with us on the ReMix. If you're looking for a weekend activity in the city, the Boston Arts Festival is back at Christopher Columbus Park in Boston. Chris Tanaka shows us one artist who was inspired by his family heritage.
Hey, we're joined now by artist Eric Powell, who's going to be one of the artists at this year's Boston Arts Festival. Thanks for coming in, talking a little bit about your art forms, because you do many different types. But let's start first with the festival this weekend. It's right downtown on the waterfront, Christopher Columbus Waterfront Park. Tell us about the festival for people who aren't familiar.
Yeah, it's the Boston Arts Festival. It's a free event this Saturday and Sunday, September 7 and 8. It's a great event. There's some free music, and there's a bunch of artists. There's about 40 of us trying to sell our stuff and trying to get a little exposure. And a bunch of indie musicians. I think there's about 11 or 12 of them, and they're going to be playing their music.
Very cool. Different mediums, right?
Yep.
Different artists. Great way to walk around, enjoy the weekend. September in Boston, it's usually lovely, so we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. All right, for you specifically, you brought in a couple of forms of art. Your background was in graphic arts, corporate graphic arts, but then you decided to break free. Right?
Yeah.
What was the impetus for that?
I worked at a large insurance company for about 9.5 years, and it was very draining on my creativity because I had certain standards of graphic standards that I had to follow for everything that I designed. So I really wanted to do something that was creative, and one of the things that I wanted to do was reflective of my culture, and that was paper art.
And you're Chinese American, and this paper art, you brought in all of these examples.
Yep.
This is beautiful. I don't want to ruin anything. Describe paper art and what it is, because I can see the layers here.
Yeah, so each layer I design, I illustrate, and I cut everything by hand using a X-Acto knife, scissors, and then I start gluing different things together. But I glue the structure on the back. It's strips of paper.
Okay.
To make that structure, to make it 3D.
Yeah.
And do you want me to demo it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So each layer is its own separate element that I cut out, and then I glue the structure, and to make that 3D shape.
This is amazing.
I'll have other elements that are just flat.
Right.
But people really love that.
The
shadows and the three-dimensional aspect.
Absolutely. I'm going to see if I can hold this up. Obviously, there isn't any sort of adhesive holding these in place, so let's see if I can do that. So you've got this beautiful mountainscape, and if I rotate it, you might be able to pick up on the three-dimensional aspect of it right there. That's fantastic.
Thanks.
Yeah. And then you said you're a graphic artist, and so you've got this cutting New England wit. Here's a little fridge magnet that says, if the tea doesn't kill you, nothing will.
Yeah.
So you're really able to express all sides of your personality through your art.
I mean, I love to be a little bit humorous with some of my art, especially the magnets and the stickers. I have fluff magnets. I have a magnet that says "Get Stored."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah. And it's especially pertinent right now. Go to his website. It's ericpao.com.
Yep.
Incredible stuff there. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Highly recommend not only the paper art that you can order custom, but some of these witty, acerbic, cynical magnets as well. Eric Pao.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A popular comedian in Boston. We speak to Donnell Rawlings about his new Netflix special and what audiences can expect when it comes to politics at his show.
Donnell, why don't you date women your own age? I'm like, obviously, you don't know how old I am. I'm older than hip-hop.
That's comedian and actor Donnell Rawlings in his latest Netflix stand-up special, A New Day. Rawlings brought his Black and Mild tour to the Wilbur in Boston this weekend. He spoke with us about his show and whether he would make any jokes about the presidential race.
Stand away from politics. Nope. I'm staying away from politics. I want left and right to come to my show. You know, that's one thing that's very tough because I think especially with this election coming up, everybody is like really like on people's chest. Everybody's taking it personal. So it's kind of hard to even talk politics without making somebody upset. And at the end of the day, you know, I can perform for anybody. I want anybody to come to my show. My good friend Dave Chappelle said, this is like going back to what you were talking about. You know, it's our job to make fun of the things that's troubling the world. So I won't give up too much of what that's going to be in my show. I will say, when you come to a Donnell Rawlings show, it's unedited, it's raw, it's honest. You know what I'm saying?
You can watch the full interview with Donnell Rawlings on our CBS News Boston YouTube channel. And it's Beetlejuice weekend. The long-awaited sequel is premiering in theaters. Michael Keaton is back as the ghost with the most. Winona Ryder is reprising her role as Lydia Dietz. Warner Brothers also teamed up with Crumble Cookie to create an Afterlife cake. But act fast, the Afterlife cake is only available this weekend, and it is delicious. Thank you for joining us on The ReMix. We'll be back next week with more community, entertainment, and lifestyle stories.